to the next property. Can somebody tell me the property number, by the way? Was it fourth one?
Four, I think, sir.
Fourth one, okay. Fourth one, the property that we are going to talk about is called the King's property. This property is the most widely used of all the properties, and almost in 60 to 70% of the questions you are going to use this. Okay. What is this property? This property says if you are integrating a function f of x which is defined from a to b, you can write this integral as integration from a to b f of a plus b minus x dx. Okay, this is the bigger version of it. A very small special case is mostly used here. If you're integrating it from 0 to a f of x, okay, so this is a very small case of the same thing. This is a wider version of it. This is a more narrower version of it. Now, how do I prove this property? So I'll prove this property in two ways. One is by use of graph and another by or other without the use of graph. Let us prove this without graph first. So if start with this particular expression, okay, here let us substitute x as a plus b minus t. So d of x will become negative dt. So this integration will become f of a plus b minus t negative dt. What about the limits of integration? If you check it out, when you put x as a, t will become a b. Check it out. When x is a, t will become a b. And when x is b, t will become an a. Okay. Now, in order to absorb this negative sign, I will flip the upper and the lower limit. Okay. And now there is nothing in the name, so I'll put my t back as x. Now, many people say, oh, wait. Your t was a plus b minus x, right? How can t become x again? This is what I was telling a little while ago, that many people raise eyebrows when I use that nothing in the name property. See, try to understand here. This is a problem in itself. Okay. So if you see this as a problem in itself, let's say there is no precedence to this problem. There is nothing like, before it. Can I not write it like, sorry, this one. Can I not write it like this? I'm just changing the name from t to x. What is wrong in that? So this value that comes out from here will not be affected if I change the name from t back to x. Even though x and t were basically connected to each other by a different relation before. But treat this as a separate problem in itself. Okay, think as if your problem is starting from this point and you're writing it from here to here. There is no change in the value if you do that. Okay, so this is something very weird about definite integration, that you can change the name any point of time to whatever you want, because it is actually not this x and this x, they may not be the same. They could be two different names. For example, if I write 0 to a f of t dt and I write f of a minus x dx from 0 to a, the answer doesn't change. The relation will still be true. Are you getting my point? So even if you write something like this, 0 to a f of t dt, and you write here 0 to a f of a minus x dx, okay, nothing is going to change. Both will yield the same result, because ultimately your name of the variable doesn't matter. Yes, function matters. Function should not change. Getting my point? Yes, any question anybody has? So this is your RHS and hence proved. Now, how do you prove this through graph or through geometry? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first assume that my function graph from A to B is like this. Any arbitrary graph you can take. Okay. You may take a part of the graph above and a part of the graph below. Okay. Any nature you can take discontinuous graphs. Okay. So I'm just trying to prove it in a simpler possible way. So I'm just assuming that this is my graph. So this area basically gives you the area of the integral, value of the integral f of x from A to B. Okay. Now, when I talk about this function, y is equal to f of a plus b minus x, how do you see this function? Basically, I see this function as, first you had this graph, then you change your x to minus x, correct? And then you change your x to x minus a minus b. Then you change your x to like this. Okay. So what all changes happen in the graph? So from this graph, it will become something like this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. So from A to B now, it has got reflected about y axis and it has gone from minus B to minus A like this. Okay. Now, this means you are dragging the graph A plus B units to the right. So if you drag this graph A plus B units to the right, you would realize that this end, let me name this end as A, B. Okay, let's say this is C, D. Then C will come in A's position. So it will be like this. And D will come in B's position. So something like this will happen. Okay, so this will be now your new shape of the graph. So what this property is saying is, if you evaluate this area, that is this white area, it will be the same as this yellow area. Do you see any fault in this conclusion? I don't see any fault, because what you did was you just flipped this graph by changing the positions of A and B. So you brought this at this position and you brought this at this position. That means your graph actually became like this. Does it change the area under the graph? Does it change the area under the graph? Let's say
No, sir.
if you have your palm like this, let's say this is your palm, this is your hand palm, correct? If you just make it flipped this way, does it change the area of your palm? Still remains the same, correct? Okay, so this area, which is integral of f of a plus b minus x dx, would be the same as this area, and therefore King's property holds true. Are you getting my point here? Any questions with respect to this? Any questions here? Okay, let's take questions.
No, sir. No question. I meant for the any questions here, not for the you giving questions.
I understood your feelings. Okay, we will try to do, let's say, all the questions, because they are all school level. You should be knowing all these things. Let us start with the first one. First one, please put your answer on the chat box. After doing this series, we can take a break. Okay, first one, very good. Most of you have answered. So for the first one, if you see 0 to pi by 2, if you write it in terms of sine and cos, you will have under root of cos x by under root of sine x plus under root of cos x. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct? Now, as a question in itself, if you try to solve it, I'm sure most of you would either not be able to solve it or take forever to solve it. Okay. So here comes the use of your properties. Try to understand this, my dear students, that do not use brute force. Even if you may have practiced your indefinite integrals for the last 1 month, right? What is supposed to be solved by properties, do not try to use brute force there, right? You will be wasting 100 times more, number of, hours to solve it as compared to the time that you would take when you are using your properties. So don't use brute force to solve questions. Okay. So if you use King's property, then the same I could be written as 0 to pi by 2. Now, one more thing while using King's property is, wherever you have x in the integrand, only those x have to be replaced with a minus x. A here is pi by 2. Okay, only the x of the integrand is to be replaced. Do not replace the x of dx. So I've seen people making that mistake also. They change the x of dx also with x pi by 2 minus x. Okay, so when you do that, your I becomes integration 0 to pi by 2 under root of sine x by under root of cos x plus under root of sine x again. Now add these two. Let's say 1 and 2, add these two. So from 1 plus 2, you'll get 2i is equal to, now since they are under the same limit, you can add the integrand involved. So when you add the integrand, the LCM would be under root sine x plus under root cos x, which is actually the same terms. And numerator will also become under root sine x plus under root cos x. As a result, these two get cancelled off and give you a 1. In other words, your integration from 0 to pi by 2 of 1 you need to do, which is nothing but pi by 2. And remember, you had 2i over here, so I will become a pi by 4. So first answer will be pi by 4. Okay. This is normally the first question that anybody will take up under this concept. Second one. Very good. Second one, I already started getting the answer. Some people are answering fourth and fifth and all. Okay. Second one also I'll discuss since many of you have already done it. So again, use King's property. Again, use King's property on this. So by King's property, I can also be written as 0 to pi by 2 ln tan pi by 2 minus x. Let me drag it to the right. That is actually ln cot x. Ln cot x is 1 by tan x. Okay. So this will give you negative this. So what you realize is that, what you realize here is that your I becomes negative I. So your I has become negative I, meaning 2i is equal to 0. That means I equal to 0. Absolutely correct. For the second one, the answer is 0. Third one, let me check. Okay, Ajay, very good. Tripan, very good. Very good. Most of you have done this in school, it seems. So we'll take it up. Ln of 0 to pi by 4 ln of 1 plus tan x dx. Yeah, correct. So by King's property, this will become 0 to pi by 4 ln 1 plus tan pi by 4 minus x dx. So simplifying this will give me ln 1 plus 1 minus tan x by 1 plus tan x dx. So this simplifies to ln2 by 1 plus tan x. So what I'll do is I'll split this up as this. Okay. Hope I'm not fast here. So what I did was I took the LCM over here. LCM gave me 2 on the numerator divided by 1 plus tan x in the denominator. I split this using my log properties. Now if you see this closely, you are back to I here. So I is equal to 0 to pi by 4 ln2 dx minus I. That means 2I is equal to 0 to pi by 4 ln2. So it becomes ln2 into x from 0 to pi by 4. Okay, so I'm doing all the steps here. I hope that is clear to you. So this is pi by 4 ln2. So I is equal to pi by 8 ln2. So this is the answer for the third one. Okay. Fourth one.
Sir, could you go up?
Here. Aditya?
Yes, sir. Just a minute. Just a minute.
Sure, sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, could you please show the fourth question?
Yeah, sure. Fourth question is sin x minus cos x by 1 plus sin x cos x from 0 to pi by 2. I'll write it over here.
So I think it's the other way around.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So again, applying King's property by Kp, I will be 0 to pi by 2. This will become cos x. Now I don't want to write all those pi by 2 minus x. I'm sure everybody knows how to do it. And the denominator is unchanged. Okay. And you realize that it is negative of 0 to pi by 2 sin x minus cos x by 1 plus sin x cos x. That is nothing but negative I. That means 2I is equal to 0. That means I is equal to 0. Easy. No problem with that. What, sir?
No,
We have
sir.
done these questions in school, sir. Give us some hard questions. Okay, let's take. It's a show that question. Just type done once you're done with it. Done? Anybody? Awesome. Good. Good. Let us discuss this in the interest of time. So let me begin with this expression 0 to a f of x into g of x. Okay? Fine. Let us apply King's property. So by King's property, we can say 0 to a f of a minus x g of a minus x dx, okay, by kp. Fine. No problem with this. Now, f of a minus x is as good as f of x. So let me put this back as f of x, and f of ga minus x is 2 minus g of x. Okay. If you open the bracket, it becomes 2 times 0 to a f of x dx and minus 0 to a f of x g of x dx. Correct? Okay. Bring this to the other side, because both the left side and the last expression are same actually. These two are same things. This and this are same things. So if you bring it on this side, it becomes 2 times 0 to a f of x g of x dx is 2 times 0 to a f of x dx. 2 gets cancelled off, and this is what you wanted to prove. This is what you wanted to prove, hence proof. Again, not a challenging question, simpler one only. Let's try.
So
Yes,
could we
sir.
do it a bit differently?
Sorry? Sorry, Venkat, you were saying something?
So could we do it a bit differently? Like let's assume f dash x to be the derivative of f of x, and then you can get integral of f dash x is equal to integral of f dash of a minus x. Hence, and the same way for that, that means g of x, and the same way you do it for g dash of x and g dash of a minus x. And that way, since they're equal, you prove that g dash of x equal to 1. I'm not sure, sir. I'm just telling. Maybe mostly I'm wrong, but then
You can
and
try
hence
it out. You can try it out and share with me if you are able to find some breakthrough.
yes, sir. That's what. And hence, then you prove g of x equal to 1 that way, and then 0 to a f of x g of x equal to 0 to a f of x. Maybe, probably.
Can you repeat your statements once again so that I can also write it?
Okay, sir. So what I thought was let f dash of x be the derivative of f of x.
Okay, that is unnecessary to say that. Yes. Then
So integral 0 to a f dash of x will be equal to integral 0 to a f dash of a minus x.
0 to a
F dash of a minus x.
f dash of a minus x.
Yes, sir.
How did you get this information?
So you just proved. Yeah, you just took derivative of f of x to be another function.
F dash x will be negative of f dash a minus x because you'll follow chain rule on this, no?
Oh, right.
Gone here only.
So, sir,
Yes,
but f dash of x is also another function, right?
So, like, why can't we use King's property on that?
Oh yeah, yes, sir.
F of a minus x is another function, I agree, but the derivative of them is not the same. Derivative of x is not equal to derivative of this guy. Just that the function has the same value at that particular point x, derivative need not have the same value.
No, so like, what if we take f dash of x as h of x? So h of integral of h of x and integral of h of a minus x would technically be the same, no? So I think that's the same way of saying like what Venkat wanted to say.
No, he had some. He just replaced this derivative of this with derivative of this. That's what he did.
No, sir. I wanted to say that anyway they're functions, so hence we can do that.
But the signs are not matching, no.
Okay,
Anyways.
1 minute, sir.
Let's discuss this in detail off the class. Okay, let's take another question. These are all simpler ones actually. You should be able to do this. Try this one out. Oh yes, yes, Aditya. After this question, definitely I'll give a break. I'm so sorry, it slipped out of my mind. Okay, again, in the interest of time, let me also contribute here. So we'll apply King's property here, and wherever there's an x, I'll replace it with 1 minus x. Okay. Yeah, so this will give you, if I'm not mistaken, 5 plus 2 minus 2x minus 2 plus 4x plus 4x minus 2x square. And here I'll get 1 plus e to the power 4x minus 2. Can I say it's negative of 2 minus 4x? Okay. Now, the good thing is, if you simplify this guy, you'll exactly get the same quadratic back. Check it out. See, 2 and 2 gets cancelled. 4x plus 2x will give you a 2x. Minus 2x square and 5. Nothing will change. But here you'll have, correct me if I'm wrong, 1 plus e to the power 2 minus 4x, and divided by that, that will go and jump on the numerator. Correct, no? Okay. So let us call this as I, and this will also be I then. In fact, all of these are I only. Correct? Let us add the two i's. If you add the two i's, you would realize that the denominator is the same. So you can take this as your LCM, and numerator will be 1 plus e to the power 2 minus 4x. Please confirm this, because I is here. This I am adding to this I. Okay, so let me call this as 1 and let me call this as 2. So here I am adding 1 plus 2. So this and this will get cancelled off, leaving you with a very easy indefinite integral question, which you have done several times, I'm sure, while practicing indefinite integration. Okay, a standard form. Correct? So let me take a minus half common, 0 to 1 dx. It is x square minus x plus minus 5 by 2. X square minus x minus 5 by 2. So let us complete the square here. By the way, I is minus 1/4, 0 to 1 dx, x minus 1/2 the whole square. What is minus 5/2 minus 1/4? Correct? Okay. Minus 11/4 can be written as root 11/2 the whole square. After that, I think you don't need my help. You can carry on from here. So it's x square minus a square, which is 1/2a, 1/2a, which is root 11, ln x minus a by x plus a. Okay, 0 to 1. So this will give you minus 1/4 root 11 ln mod. Half minus this, that will give you 1 plus root 11, and this will actually become a 0, no? Because it becomes half, 1 minus root 11 by 1 plus root 11. Okay? Minus, when you put a 0, you get ln 1 plus root 11 by 1 minus root 11. Correct? So this is nothing but minus 4 by root 11 ln, or you can say 2 times ln root 11 minus 1 by root 11 plus 1. Okay, no need to simplify any further. That's it. This is your answer. Now let us go for a break. I know you all want a break. Right now it is 6:46. Let's meet at 7:02. 6:47 I'll consider. Let's meet at 7:02. We'll take more problems on King's property.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's start with this question. Let me put the poll on for this. This could be a possible question for you in school as well. Not a difficult one. Last 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one, go. Come on, class. Not even half of you, 1/3 of you have voted, sir, only. Okay. Okay. Let me share the results. Most of you have gone with option B. Most of you have gone with option B. See, first of all, this is integral 0 to a ln. Cot a, you can write it as cos a by sin a. Okay. If you simplify this, you'll see cos x cos a okay. Now the numerator part here is basically cos of a minus x. So you can write this as 0 to a cos of a minus x. Okay. This was cos, by the way. And denominator would be sin a cos of x. Let us apply King's property here. So I will become 0 to a ln cos x by sin a cos a minus x. Okay. Let us add the two. Let us add the two. So let me add 1 and 2. So 1 plus 2 will give you 2i equal to integral 0 to a ln cos a minus x by sin a cos x into cos x by sin a cos a minus x. Okay. So cos x will go off, this and this will go off, leaving you with 0 to a ln 1 by sine square a dx. Okay, so it is actually nothing but minus 0 to a ln of, or you can say 2 ln sine a. So your 2i will become minus 2a ln sine a. Correct? So I will become minus a ln sine a. Let's check which option says so. Option B. B is the right option. Let me see how many of you voted for B. Oh, maximum people voted for B. So Janta is correct. Can I go to the next problem? Done, everybody, with this? Anybody who wants to copy this, do let me know. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Let me put the poll on for you. Excuse me. Very good. So this is a question where you have to relate your integral u with v. Let us wrap this up in another 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Please vote, please vote. Very few of you have voted, only 13, 14 of you have voted. At least half the class should vote. Think as if you have to, submit your paper now. So which is the best option that you can, you have to mark this option. You have to attempt this question. So which option will you attempt? Okay. End of poll. Most of you have given the option A to be the right option. Okay, let's check. See, first of all, if you use your King's property, let me start with U. If you apply King's property, let me copy the integral as it is. So by King's property, you can write U as 0 to pi by 2 cos of 2 pi by 3 cos square x dx. Okay, correct. Let us add these two. So let us add 1 and 2. So 2u will become 0 to pi by 2 cos 2 pi by 3 sine square x plus cos 2 pi by 3 cos square x. Okay. Now you can use your cos c plus cos d formula. Cos c plus cos d is 2 cos c plus d by 2. Now c plus d by 2 will actually leave you with 2 pi by 3 by 2, that is pi by 3, into cos c minus d by 2. Cos c minus d by 2 will leave you with pi by 3 pi by 3 cos 2x. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Cos pi by 3 is half, so that will get cancelled with this 2. So you will end up getting 2u is equal to 0 to pi by 2 cos of pi by 3 cos 2x. Let us see how close we are to the expression. Oh, pi by 3 at least we have got, so we have to get sin x here. Okay. So let me do one thing first. Let me change my 2x with a t first. So dx will be half dt. So 2u will be half. This will be cos pi by 3 times cos t dt. Limit of integration will become 0 to pi. Limit of integration will become 0 to pi. Okay. 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 So we are almost there. So we have to halve this limit. Now, actually I have not given you half the limit property. But what I'll do here is I'll break this up as 0 to pi by 2 cos pi by 3 cos t and pi by 2 to pi cos pi by 3 cos t. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace my t with pi by 2 minus k, let's say. Okay. So in this integral, only in the second one, I'm going to replace t with pi by 2 minus k. So when I do that, this integral will become cos of pi by 3 sine k, and remember dt will be negative dk. So I'll have negative dk. What about limits of integration? Limits of integration will become negative. Actually, I should replace it with pi by 2 plus k. That will be more beneficial. What do you think? Yeah, I should replace it with this. That will be more beneficial, right? So in that case, you don't have a negative sign, so this will be positive. Now, when your t is pi by 2, k will be 0. And when your t is pi, it will be pi by 2. Okay. Now, you can also see that this particular expression by King's property, you can write it as 0 to pi by 2 cos pi by 3 sine t. Correct? So this expression and this expression are exactly the same. Don't worry about the variable name over here. This is in terms of t and this is in terms of x. So ultimately you will have half 2 times 0 to pi by 2 cos pi by 3 sine t coming up. So 2 and this will get cancelled off, leaving you with a v expression. So that is, you are trying to say that 2u is equal to v relation is correct in this particular question. So 2u equal to v is your option number A. So Janta was absolutely correct. So I hope the process is clear. I think the first step is the use of King's property. Then when you add it, it becomes this. Then I use my transformation formula of calculus. I got this. Then I use my substitution over here. This substitution, I got this. Then I broke my integral 0 to pi as 0 to pi by 2. Oh, I'm so sorry. And pi by 2 to pi. In the second integral, I changed my t with pi by 2 plus k. When I did that, I ended up getting this. Okay. Remember, pi by 3 cos pi by 2 plus k will give you negative sine pi by 3, negative sine pi by 3 sine k. But cos doesn't care about the negativity. Correct? And then by the use of King's property on this, I also converted it to cos pi by 3 sine t. Both these integrals are same. That means these two integrals were actually the same. So that gave me half 2 times 0 to pi by t cos pi by 3 t sine t. Okay. So this is nothing but v. So 2u is equal to v. Is that clear? Any questions here? Okay. Next question. Can I go to the next page? Okay. Next question is, there is a function f of x which satisfies, there is a function f of x which satisfies f of x times f dash minus x is equal to f of minus x f dash x for all x belonging to the domain, and it is also given that f0 is 3. Okay, it is given that f0 is 3. Question is, find the value of minus 51 to 51 3 plus f of x.
So do we have to tell you the answer or you're giving options?
No options. Please give me the answer. Do you want options? Okay, I'll give you options. 17, 34, 102, 0. Let me put the poll on. F of x times f dash negative x is equal to f of negative x times f dash x. Okay, 0 seems to be the most convenient option. Okay, let me try this out, else what will happen? You will try and then I'll also do it. Double time will go off. Okay, see, I don't know how many of you can see
Seems
that.
like even function.
Look at this very carefully, very carefully. At least this part, if you look at very carefully, you would realize you are actually differentiating f of x into f of minus x. So you are differentiating this. Correct? In fact, there's a negative sign I can put over here. Isn't it? If you differentiate this with a negative sign outside, don't you get this? Check it out. See, if you differentiate this, you get f of x into derivative of this will be f dash minus x with a minus sign. Correct? Plus, differentiate this and keep this as it is. Okay? If you open the brackets, you get f of x, f dash minus x, minus f of minus x, f dash x. Correct? So my prediction was correct. It was actually the derivative of this term equal to 0. Now, let me erase this because this is just to explain that it was actually the derivative. So this is not required. So what does this indicate? It indicates to the fact that f of x into f of minus x is a constant. Correct? Now, if f of x into f of minus x is a constant, that means f of 0 into f of minus 0 should be also the same constant. And f of 0 is known to be 3. That means your constant is actually a 9. That means your function is such that it is always satisfying this criteria. F of x into f of minus x is 9. Okay. So at least we know this about the function. Correct? Now, let us apply King's property on this. If you apply King's property on this, a plus b will actually be a 0. So you are replacing x with 0 minus x. So correct me if I'm wrong, this is what you will end up seeing. Am I right? Let us add these two. Let us add these two. So 2i will be integral from minus 51 to 51. When you add these two, just correct me. I'm just writing the final result. It will be on the numerator, you will see this. And on the denominator, you will see this. Correct? Any questions here? Okay. Let us simplify the denominator. Let us simplify the denominator. Denominator will give you 9 plus 3 times f of x, f of minus x, plus f of x into f of minus x. Which anyways, you know that this guy is going to be a 9. This guy is going to be a 9 because we just now figured out that f of x into f of minus x is a 9. So if this is a 9, that means your integral converts to 6 plus f of x, f of minus x dx by 18 plus 3 times f of x plus f of minus x. Okay. Take a factor of 3 out. If you take a factor of 3 out from the denominator, you will get 6 plus this is equal to 1/3. And these two will get cancelled off. So 2i will become 1/3. And this will be 102 if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So your I will be 51 upon 3, which is 17. So option number A is correct. Now I know most of you guessed it. That's why the answer was not A. Actually, most of you said B or a C. Oh, actually, the poll was on. Is this fine? Any questions here? Any question? First of all, from the given functional equation, I came to this conclusion. This conclusion helped me when I was trying to add the two i's after using King's property over here. And that led to cancellation of the function, leaving you with integration of 1 by 3 from minus 51 to 51, which is 1 by 3, 102. And then you get your I from there. Can I go to the next one? Okay. AIEEE 2004 question, which is equivalent to the present JEE main exam. Let us solve this. I'll put the poll on for this as well. Very good. Let's close this up. Close this in another 30 seconds. This is not a difficult one. Okay, at the count of 5 we'll stop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please vote, please vote. People are not voting. Okay. All right. Most of you have voted for A and B. A and B have got equal number of votes. Let's check. Now see here, you can see that the limits of these functions are f of a and f of minus a. Both the places, f of a and f of minus a. Okay. And f of x is given to you like this. Now what is f of a? F of a is e to the power a 1 plus e to the power a. Correct? And f of minus a is e to the power minus a by 1 plus e to the power minus a. Correct? This is actually 1 by 1 plus e to the power a. Let us add these two. Let us add these two. If you add these two, you realize f of a plus f of minus a actually gives you 1. So treat as if there are two upper and lower limits. There are upper and lower limits which add up to give you 1. Okay. So let me start with I1. Let me start with I1. This is your I1. Okay. Let us apply King's property on this. So by King's property, you know that you have to replace your x with a plus b minus x. Correct. So it will become f of minus a, f of a. A plus b is actually 1. So you have to replace your x with 1 minus x. So something like this. Okay. So this results into f of minus a, f of a, 1 minus x. This will give you, if I'm not mistaken, again g of x 1 minus x. Okay. If you expand this term, you will get g of x1 minus x minus, again I'll rewrite the integration limits, minus x g of x1 minus x. Okay. A careful observation will tell you that your I2 has appeared and your I1 has appeared once again. So this is your I2 and this is your I1. So I1 is equal to I2 minus I1, which clearly means 2I1 is equal to I2. Now what do they desire? They desire me to give you I2 by I1. So I2 by I1 clearly from here will become a 2. So option number A will be correct. A will be correct. Of course, many people gave A also, but B also was also given as the answer. Okay, let's move on to the next question. IIT JEE 2011. IIT JEE 2011 question. Let me put the poll on. No response yet. 2 minutes gone by. Let's close this in another 1 minute. This is not a difficult question at all. Last 20 seconds. Please vote. Only 4 of you have voted so far. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Okay. Do you have any UT or something tomorrow?
No, sir.
No, sir. What happened? All of you are so dry today. No Josh. Okay, most of you have gone with B. B for Bombay. Okay, let's check. See, first of all, I see a presence of an X over here. Sorry, I see a presence of an X over here. And there's an X square, X square, X square. So, general feeling that will come in my mind is let us first substitute X square as a T, so that we can adjust X dx as half dt. Okay. So when we do that, I'll get sine t half dt sine t sine ln 6 minus t. Now what about limits of integration? When you put x as log 2 under root here, t will become ln 2. And when you put under root ln 3, this will become ln 3. Okay. Now this is a simple problem actually. Now you can go for kp. So apply kp. Apply King's property. So this will become half. This will become half. Okay, now you are replacing your t with a plus b minus t. Now a plus b itself is ln 6. So your t on the top will be replaced with ln 6 minus t. Down here also ln 6 minus t. And this will give you sine t if I'm not mistaken. Okay. I think we are done. Just add the two i's. Okay, let's add the two i's here. So you'll get half ln 2 ln 3. Now needless to say that when you add two i's, you'll end up with getting a 1. Correct? So your answer is 1/4 of ln 3 minus ln 2, which is actually 1/4 of ln 3 by 2. Do we have such an option? Oh yes, option A itself is the given option. Oh, most of you went for B.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I didn't understand what did you do with the ln3 and the ln2? The limits, it's under root. How did you just change it to?
How did I change it to that? Okay, that's a very good question. When you're replacing a variable with another variable, so when you put under root of ln2 over here, what does t become? Yeah, what happens to t when you put x as under root ln2? 0. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ravi Kiran, what happens? ln2 under root whole square, what happens to it? ln2 only, no?
Yes, sir.
Same with ln3 also. See, you're making use of a substitution. So won't your limits undergo a change?
Okay. Okay. Yes, sir. Got
Oh,
it.
now you're saying, okay. The same thing I had done in the first hour of the class only. Limits also will undergo a change when you are changing your function. Please note that. Limits will not remain as they are. They will also change accordingly. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay.
Oh, sir, can you scroll down for a second?
Yeah, Vibhav.
Yes, sir, done, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Try this one out. I don't want to start a new property because then you'll not be able to solve much questions on it. Okay. Let's try this one. Let's see whether. Okay, very good. I'm getting response from many of you. Okay, let's discuss this. So you're trying to evaluate integral of 3 by, oh sorry, 3 by x e to the power sine x cube dx. Okay. Actually, this is based on your substitution only, since somebody raised a problem. That's why I thought I would do a question on this. So I need to evaluate this. Okay. Okay. Now, if you multiply this with an x square and take x cube as a t, then you realize that 3x squared dx will become a dt. So this will become 1 to 64 e to the power sine t by t dt. Correct? Now this integral is already given to us as f of t, the same f of t. Okay. So this information means integral of this is going to give me this. That means f of x is the primitive of this function. Okay. So this will be from 1 to 64. Correct. So this result will be becoming f64 minus f1, and therefore your k has to be 64. Absolutely correct, Janta. All of you have got it right, in fact. Awesome. Very good. Okay. Any questions here? Please do let me know. Any question, any concerns? Please do let me know. Okay, done? Okay. Let's take this question as the last question for the day. Let's see whether we are able to solve this well in time. I've launched the poll. Okay, very good. Only one person has responded. Can we wrap this up in another 1 minute? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please vote. Please vote. Please vote, everybody. Okay. Most of you have gone with option B as the right option. Okay, let's check whether B was correct. So first of all, again, if you apply King's property, I will be pi minus x. This will become sine square sine x and cos square cos x. Okay. Let us add these two. Let us add these two. Okay, so 1 plus 2. So when you add, you will realize that you will get rid of the x factor. So it just becomes pi times sine square sine x and cos square cos x. Okay. Is that fine? Any problem with this? Any concerns with this? Do let me know. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll use the splitting of limit property. So 0 to pi by 2 sine square sine x plus cos square cos x. Okay. And then from pi by 2 to pi sine square sine x plus cos square cos x. Later on, we'll learn something called halving the limit property. Then we'll not have to do so much actually. Okay. Now, replace your x plus pi by 2 with a t. Or you can say x is t plus pi by 2. Okay. So when you do that here, only in this integral. So you'll end up getting 0 to pi by 2. Correct me if I'm wrong. This will become sine square. Now, it will be a minus cos. Oh, sorry, it will be cos. And here it will be a minus sign, but it doesn't make a difference because there is a cos square outside. And in fact, cos itself is an even function. So no problem will be created because of that. Okay. Again, use King's property on this. Again, use King's property on this. You will end up getting sine square sine x plus cos square cos x. So what does it mean? It means this integral is same as this integral. In other words, you are doubling it up. So 2i is 2 pi, 0 to pi by 2, sine square sine x plus cos square cos x. Okay. Now, at this stage, what we can do?
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir?
Tell me.
So instead of that, in the previous step, if we add the two things because they're in the same under the same limit, then we'll get integral 2 dx because sine square and cos square will get added to 1.
Which one? Which one?
So we have sine square sine x plus cos square cos x in the left integral, and in the right one we have sine square cos x and cos square sine x.
Uh-huh.
When we add them, we'll get 1 plus 1.
Oh. Yeah, that's okay. The job is here itself. Thank you, Kripan. We have finished the question here itself because, as he rightly said, this plus this, this plus this will give you a 1, and this plus this will give you a 1. Correct, absolutely. So you'll end up getting 2i is equal to 2 times pi 0 to pi by 2 dx. Okay, so I gone. Your answer will be pi times pi by 2. That's nothing but pi square by 2. Thanks a lot. That made my life easy. So option number B is correct. Okay, so with this we end. But the next class we are going to take up most of the properties That is even odd property, half the limit property, and so many other properties are there to come. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.